Africa Women Empowerment Initiative began as a platform that enables women to access information on various aspects of life. We have since expanded to include structured training, grants, conferences, and mentorship programs. In 2021, we launched a 1 billion naira grant for female entrepreneurs. Since then, 2,045 women have received business training to grow their ventures. In addition, we have provided 700 million naira in grants to 300 women entrepreneurs to inject capital, help them expand their businesses, and make a significant impact on their communities. Today, we celebrate the support of 100 more female entrepreneurs with grants totaling 300 million naira. Our dedication to women empowerment grows stronger with each success story. This belated conference focuses on how effective policies can drive transformative change for women-led innovations and entrepreneurship. Our aim is to advance funding, regulatory frameworks, and targeted support that enable women entrepreneurs to thrive. We call on policymakers to act now. Support women with targeted funding and incentives. Create supportive rules and partnerships for women-led businesses, and ensure equal access to funding, mentorship, technology, and business opportunities. These actions benefit everyone by building a fairer, stronger, and more inclusive economy. In the tapestry of global progress, where threads of innovation and resilience intertwine, the untapped genius of women entrepreneurs remains a shadowed masterpiece, deemed not by lack of vision, but by unequal access. In other words, as the world moves forward, women entrepreneurs have the idea and drive to create change, but they often don't get the same opportunity for access. As illuminated by the United Nations 2018 Clarion Call, we must reforge entrepreneurial policies into instruments of equity, dismantling barriers to capital, mentorship, and markets, so that every woman innovator ignites not just her own accent, but a radiant dawn of shared prosperity for all humanity. It is an irrefutable truth that when barriers to development equity are broken down, women do not merely survive, rather they thrive, thereby elevating their own destinies and those of their families, wielding influence in the halls of economic decision-making, shattering the teeth of poverty, and building the fabric of truly inclusive growth. My dear Florish Africa women, drawing from key International Monetary Fund, IMF publications, including the 2018 policy paper, Pursuing Women's Economic Empowerment, the 2023 report, Integrating Gender into the IMF's work, and the 2024 Interim Guidance Notes on Mainstreaming Gender, the IMF outlines targeted, multifaceted recommendations. These recommendations focus on removing barriers in labor markets, finance, and legal systems while investing in enabling infrastructure. IMF emphasizes that advancing women's economic empowerment is essential for sustainable growth, reduced inequality, and economic resilience. This is particularly relevant in the entrepreneurship ecosystem where gender gaps limit innovation and job creation. Many women start their entrepreneurship journeys alone. Our goal is to turn these challenges into shared successes. By backing bold, inclusive policies like targeted funding and fair market, we help to ensure every woman to have the support she needs to succeed and to spark meaningful change. This is more than survival. It's about unleashing global potential. Through sustained advocacy for impactful solutions, we forge connections among innovative women and amplify our collective voice. This results in accelerated personal empowerment, economic growth, and prosperity. Today, accomplished women entrepreneurs will share their knowledge. Let's keep an open mind and learn from them. On behalf of Florish Africa, we extend our deepest gratitude to our exceptional speakers, trainers, mentors, business advisors, team leads, and valued guests for your unwavering commitment and vibrant contributions to our shared journey of growth and empowerment. Our special thanks goes to Digital Reality Print Limited and Channels Television, our print and media partners, for their support of the Florish Africa mission and for always being on this journey with us. Let us all unite to champion immediate transformative action, gender-responsive funding, fair regulations, and inclusive training for women-led ventures. Together, we can lay the foundation for true empowerment and lasting economic progress. May today's conference inspire passion and lasting purpose, fueling your continued success and impact. Once again, I welcome you all to the belated 4th Florish African Grant Award Ceremony and the 9th Annual Conference of 2021. Thank you and God bless you.
Globally and even in Nigeria, according to statistics. However, you will discover that in terms of entrepreneurship and even other careers, women are lagging behind. And so while we are almost at 5 in terms of population, but in terms of having careers, being in careers, or even in entrepreneurship, we realize that women are lagging behind. We are not at par. and there's a gender parity. And this gender parity is costing us globally. So in terms of, in the United States dollars, it's costing us about about 106 thereabouts trillion dollars. And it's been estimated that if we are able to close the gap, if we have the same number or close to the same number of women being in entrepreneurship or in other corporate careers, we'll be able to increase the GDP by perhaps maybe 30–40%. Now, I want us to bring this home to us in Nigeria. We all know Benue State, the food basket of the nation. Do we? Yeah. Benue State is the food basket of our nation, Nigeria. We have a number of crops that are grown in Benue State. It may interest you to know that about 80% of women are actually in the informal sector, which is agriculture in Benue State. All that on one side, 80%. However, when you look at the number of women that own land, you would agree with me that in agriculture, land is a major factor, isn't it? The number of women that own land is just about 5%. So there's a huge gap. And so this limits the growth of these women. Because if you are going to approach a financial institution for credit, they are going to ask you for a collateral, isn't it? And so even though these women make up a large proportion of people in that sector, in the agricultural sector, however, in terms of land ownership, they are very, very little. And really, we have some laws that have enabled women to own property, to own land in Nigeria. However, even as we look, as we will see later in the discussion, we realize that because of some cultural factors, the enforcement of these laws, is not really, these laws are not being enforced. And so there's a role for government to play to ensure that the enabling environment, the legal frameworks need to be put in place to ensure that women are able to thrive in their businesses. Moving on to the next slide. Now, this slide, which is a survey by the World Bank Gender Report, shows us the state of women entrepreneurship globally. It says only 1 in 3 businesses are owned by women. And if we look at the statistics, let's look at the bottom statistics. Sub-Saharan Africa, where Nigeria is located, we have just about 29% of women. And comparing to other continents of the world, we are doing better than South Asia and the Middle East and North Africa. Other continents that are doing better than us are Latin America and the Caribbean at 50%. We have Europe and Central Africa, which is about 33%. East Asia and the Pacific, which is about 47%. And when we look closely at East Asia and Pacific, we realize that they have government support, the enabling environment, which accounts for the 47%. And so generally speaking, globally, only 1 in 3 businesses are owned by women. And I'm happy that we have the representatives of our regulators here in the House. It's good to know that when women progress, everyone progresses. Because the family progresses, the nation progresses, and globally we progress. And so, I do believe that we'll be able to have a form of meeting point with the regulators, even as we continue the discussions today. The next slide also emphasizes what the previous slide says, which is that women continue to be less likely than men to operate startups, which means that less women compared to men start businesses. And we're going to look at the reasons for this even in the next slide. So looking at That slide, you can please, thank you, project, yes, thank you very much. So the figures or the rectangles in blue, they are the proportion of women in these countries operating startups or starting their own businesses. And of course, on top, in white boxes are the men. So you see that globally, there's a gap. And so moving on to the next slide, we are going to look at what are the reasons. Why are these challenges? Why do we have these challenges? Why do we have these gaps globally? One of the reasons is the fear of failure. And I want to congratulate all the women here this morning. Please give yourself a round of applause. You deserve your flowers. Because the fact that you are here this morning means that you faced your failure, you faced the fear in the face, isn't it? And you've decided to rise above those failures. And so I want to encourage you this morning, even as a door is being opened to you today, please bring along other women. Don't close the door. Open the door for other women to also come in and mentor other women. Because when other women look at you, look at me, look at our founder, they draw inspiration. They are like, oh, if she can do it, then I can do it. Can I hear yes? Yes! Thank you. The next challenge facing female entrepreneurs is the cultural factor. So, in Africa, as in most places in the world, the role of women in some places has been confined to taking care of the home, taking care of the family. And so when you say you want to start a business, or you want to thrive in your business, they are like, you like money too much. Has anyone heard that? Yes. I'll share my own personal story briefly. When I started my PhD some years back, a male friend, apologies to the men in the house, I know you are not like that, my male friend. But what he told me, he said, what are you going to do PhD for? Anyway, you are going to end up in the kitchen. So I said, even if it is only food that I'm using it to cook, at least I will not cook nonsense food for my children and my husband. But I thank God that beyond the cooking, God is helping us. And so there are cultural factors. And I just want to prepare your mind that you are going to meet those cultural factors. But because you are here this morning, I know that you have mentors, you have a community that will thrive, that will enable you to thrive even above those cultural factors. The next one is the lack of entrepreneurial skills. Many women, though they have the passion, but they lack entrepreneurial skills. And it's not to reduce anyone, no, it's just the way it is. So I have the opportunity to mentor at other mentorship schemes and programs. And when I speak to the women, my mentees, I realize that many of them, they have the passion for the business that they are into. But when it comes to the business skills, they lack the business skills. And you need business skills to be able to survive. And the fact that you've gone through this training, I just want to encourage you that this is just the beginning. Continue to make yourself available for training, whether online, physical, wherever, because it's going to enable you to grow in your business. The next one is the access to finance, which is a big one. It's a big one because we realize that many women have sound business ideas. However, because of the barriers that have been put in place, because of the barriers that exist, some of these business ideas are not able to see the light of day. But we thank God for we thank God for organizations such as Florish Africa and so many other organizations that are supporting female entrepreneurs And so they are beginning to close this gap. However, the gap still exists. But later when we go in, later in the presentation, we're going to see how these gaps can be reduced. Quickly, I talk about access to markets. There are international markets that exist that women can actually take advantage of. However, if we don't know about these international markets, if we don't know the requirements to be able to access these international markets, then we'll continue to play local. And so I want to challenge us this morning, even as we are growing, let's know what it takes even to play in the international markets. Because the people that are operating there, they are human beings like you. And so why shouldn't you operate in the international market? Lastly is the lack of government support. So in countries where women entrepreneurs are growing and thriving, there has been a concerted effort, determined, conscious effort by the government to ensure that women-led businesses, female entrepreneurs grow through a number of policies that are put in place and incentives also that are put in place to ensure that female and women-led businesses, entrepreneurs, they grow. Next slide, please. We're going to look at a case study of China. China is one of the countries where the number of women entrepreneurs are growing daily. They still have their own challenges, I must say. However, they are growing. And it speaks to the fact that there have been some efforts to ensure that this happens. There was a challenge. The challenge was that the country, China, had a large female population. However, their potential was being untapped. Remember the words of Hillary Clinton, that women remain the largest portion of untapped potential in the world. So China once had this problem. And the female entrepreneurs in China, they face some obstacles, such as access to finance, gender inequality, and cultural setbacks. So it's very important that we pay attention to quality, because when preparing for the international markets, because they don't joke with it. And lastly, of course, is to encourage more female-focused venture capital firms, or angel networks, as they are called. These are networks that are able to provide funding, long-term funding, for female entrepreneurs. Now, going to the meat of this keynote address this morning, or this afternoon rather, is the regulatory support. In my brief research while preparing for this speech, I realized that many of the countries that are accelerating female entrepreneurs or entrepreneurship is because of the support they received from the governments of those countries. And it also makes me to remember that even in Nigeria, it can actually work. Why do I say so? Many years back, when the present emir was the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, there was this affirmative action whereby he stipulated that at least 30% of female leaders in banks should be women. And because of that affirmative action, now there are many female bank MDs and even female bank chairmen, isn't it? Yes. And so it speaks to the fact that government can do this, and we want to appeal to government to please do it. Because like I said, when a woman is prosperous, everybody enjoys the prosperity. The family, the nation, the world. And in the study that we looked at, the two studies that we looked at, only 1 in 3 businesses are owned by women. I want to ask, is anyone here, you have a car that can run on 4 tires, and you choose to run on 2? You choose. Is there anybody that will do that? No. Because your 4 tires are good, if your 4 tires are functioning, you might as well go on the 4 because of the speed that is going to give to you. And so, the support of government is very, very necessary. Another thing I did while I was preparing for this keynote was I did a small field research. I have a number of female entrepreneurs in my network, my friends, my few sisters that are female entrepreneurs. And I asked them, I said, if you were to be given a blank check by the regulators, those that regulate your products, your services, can you tell them one thing? I asked them independently, they don't know each other. And there was one thing that all of them said. They said they should simplify the approval processes. That the approval processes can be frustrating. And the fact that you have to do this approval process with this organization, the same approval process with another organization, we are talking of money. Money for these approvals. We are talking of time. Time is being lost. And so I want to appeal to the regulators. Please, let's come together, even with the stakeholders in this ecosystem. How can we simplify things? Yes, we appreciate the role of the regulators. They have a role to play of safety of the product, safety of food, of drugs, and all that. But we want to appeal to them. I believe we can find a meeting point whereby between the female innovators, entrepreneurs, and the regulators, we can have a meeting point. Another thing has to do with education. Many of us, as female entrepreneurs, we may not know the processes. Can you please guide us on this process so that when I start, I know that, okay, if I do this, if I do this, if I do this, this is the outcome. I will get the intended results. Because it can be frustrating when you think, oh, you are making progress, and you are told, no, you are not. Or when you have to get approval for the same product, but because it's in different sizes or in different variants. I mean, please, I started with the fact that the female prosperity is the prosperity for everyone. I know you have mothers, you have daughters, nieces, and so it would be nice for us to be able to come together, both the ecosystem players as well as the regulators in this field, so that we can see progress in female entrepreneurship in Nigeria and even in the world. Also, speaking to regulatory or government support is friendly tax policies, especially for women startups, because this would help to encourage more women even to enter into the entrepreneurship space. So when we have friendly tax policies, we appreciate what government is doing now, but we would also implore government to do more. Please, if you can have friendly tax policies, especially for female entrepreneurs, it will go a long, long way. Lastly, policies and practice should work together. So like I did mention, there are policies, there are acts that favor women owning property, owning land. However, in actual practice, this is not the case. And so we would really like government to step in. Because when women can also own property, own those assets that qualify them to be able to get collaterals, it will, to get loans, it will also help them. And also, even in the regulators, if you can have a female-focused desk, I believe it would accelerate female entrepreneurship such that the desks are focused on female entrepreneurs. It would really ensure that we have a high number or increasing number of female entrepreneurs in Nigeria. And so even as I conclude, I started this presentation on this paper looking at the state of female or women entrepreneurship globally. And we are not doing well globally. So it's not peculiar to Nigeria. And we have seen some of the challenges that are facing female entrepreneurs. We're doing well, but there's still room for improvement. We can do better. And so it is imperative that we increase the number of female entrepreneurs. Just like I said, there's nobody that would have 4 tires in his or her vehicle that would choose to deliberately drive on 2 tires. No. So let's increase the number of female entrepreneurs, because if we don't, we risk losing the economic contributions of a significant and sizable percentage of the world's population. To achieve this, governments in Africa, in Nigeria as well, should take accelerated action through policy interventions to increase female entrepreneurship in the continent. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Ma, for having me, and thank you for listening.
Your name and experience.
Good afternoon, Ma. Good afternoon, sirs. Good afternoon, Florish Africa team. My name is Rahimat Issa. I am the founder of Easy Logistics Nigeria Limited. I am grateful to God and to Florish Africa as a whole for granting me this opportunity to be part of the Florish Africa program. The Florish Africa program was what interested me about the program was the transparency. Every process was concise, it was clear, and the facilitators, I call them God sent, because they were always open and available. They were kind. They listened to all of our inquiries and complaints. I also want to talk about what the program has done so far for my company. Before now, I had ideas, I had passion, but I lacked the right structure and clarity for my business. But the program has made me to know that I am not just an ordinary entrepreneur, I am a leader. And so far, I have been applying all that I have learned, and I am still looking forward to applying all I have learned so far in the Florish Africa program to increase profitability, scalability, and employment opportunities for other people in Nigeria and around the world. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Golda Ben. I am the founder of Sing Better Training Studios, and being in the journey of the business of life skills training has been an awesome and life-transforming one for me. I say that for sure. I have to write down some things quickly so that I don't go and sit down thinking, I didn't say this, I didn't say that. So, first of all, I want to thank God for making it possible for us all to be here today and give Him all the glory for this opportunity to share my journey. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to talk about how the training has helped me receive the drive that I need. You know how you start a business and over time, you don't realize it, but the drive goes down a little bit due to certain factors. So being a part of this training has helped me pick myself up again, put myself together again. Things like onboarding, customer journeys, and let slip out of my hands a little bit. I began to really put those things together. having gone through the right business plan writing process. If you wrote that business plan, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we were introduced to our business again, so I really just want to appreciate that part of the process. I want to talk about also the team, the process, the way everything went. It went seamlessly. I'm someone that personally I like things to go well and to go in an orderly way. I saw that in Florish Africa business life skills program. The process was seamless. Honestly, in spite of certain unavoidable glitches that happened in the country and our network and all of that, the way they were managed. I've been a part of other entrepreneurship trainings, international ones, but the way this one went was totally amazing. From the live classes to the notifications where you're notified about everything is properly organized, to support. I mean, at no point would you feel that, I'm left out, I'm by myself. So you always have someone to talk to, you always have support. I just want to really appreciate the team from Florish Africal team led by Mr. Chukwuemeka. I want to appreciate also the rich curriculum that we were introduced to. It has helped me, it has enriched me. And finally, I want to appreciate, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, Ma, for your dream, your heart for us, for bringing us all together. 500 plus women in a tech-driven training. This is a tech-driven training. It's a lot of work. And I want to thank God. I have so much to say, but I have to stop here.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Florish Africal. I'm the creative director of the General Program. So, coming to the score for, I remember watching for 3, the grant award in 3, and I said to myself, I want to be part of this program. And to the glory of God, I made it. So being an answer to the prayer. Then coming into the program, it was a totally different experience because from the application, even from the very application, the question you have been asked is you just need to go back and sit and think, what am I here? What is your business? Why are you here? And I remember one of the things I wanted to come here to do was, the mentorship, the like-minded women, to be able to add value to other women. And those are the things we learned during the program. Then another thing for me was the training, going through the classes. You're not just thrown a class where you go and learn. You have sections at the end of each training. You have the opportunity to ask your facilitators question, and you know that these people know what they're talking about. They're not just thrown, trainings and classes and lessons, but you have the opportunity to ask them questions, and they broke it down to you like you were 6 years old. And that's one of the things that was very beneficial to me. Then also the team we are meeting. I had the opportunity to interact with every member of the team, from Mrs. Turakio to Mrs. Faye to Tolu and of course Mr. Chukwuemeka, and they were all amazing. You know that the people were Nigerians because they were so accommodating. So
We must imagine the three primary barriers holding our sisters, daughters, and partners back. The collateral bottleneck. We cannot continue to rely on land titles as the sole gateway to credit when inheritance laws and customs still disproportionately favor men. The digital disconnect. In a world where trade is moving to the cloud, we must ensure female-led, micro, small, and medium enterprises are not left behind in the offering. The infrastructure gap. We need to champion the expansion of the Happy Woman digital ecosystem and government KYC teams to bring our rural entrepreneurs into the forefront. Empowering women isn't a women's issue, it is a Nigerian issue. Data shows that when a woman earns, she reinvests 90% of her income into her family, directly improving health, education, and the quality of our future workforce. When we support women entrepreneurs, we aren't just helping individuals. We are building a more stable, prosperous nation for all of us. Our blueprint for the next several years must include the following: targeted financing, advocating for more gender-sensitive capital, like the WEIDE initiative, ensuring that credit flows to those who have been historically sidelined. Mentorship and access. As leaders, we must open our networks. We must bridge the gap between grassroots marketing and the global supply chains unlocked by the African continental free trade. Policy reform. We must push the gender disaggregated data in our banking sector. We cannot solve the problem we simply refuse to measure. So let us commit today to being generational leaders who grow the process. Let us build an economy where bankability is determined by a person's vision and hustle, not by their gender. When the Nigerian woman succeeds, Nigeria wins. It is that simple. Thank you.
Florish Africa, let's celebrate Mr. for that talk. Please put your hands together. Regulatory understanding. At this point, we'll hear from key regulatory stakeholders as we welcome their representatives. To help us do this, let's put our hands together for the program's manager of Florish Africa, Mr. Chukwuemeka.
Just a minute, I want to say praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. We're happy you're here. Your path crossed with Florish Africa, and it wasn't by chance. It was intentional, it was preordained by God, and we are happy with impact into your life in positive ways. And God bless you for being here. You've done it, but we didn't just listen to what you have been saying before you make it. We also listen to what previous participants who supported what they have said and what they have not stopped saying. We've made grants to 300 businesses, and they have spoken about issues with, policy making, registration processing with agencies of government. And today, we don't want to hear a side of the story. we also want to hear their side of the story. If only we can do this together, understand one another, and learn from one another, we can find some land. There is nothing Nigeria needs most more than growth, sustainable development. In Florish Africa, we do not look at empowerment as handouts. We look at empowerment as intentional, deliberately orchestrated inputs leading to empowering people. And so we have asked two key policymakers that interface at one point or the other with the women who support it. Actually, over 56% of the women Florish Africa have supported since 2022 interact one way or the other with NAFDA and the Standard Organization of Nigeria, SOM. So, I may at some point, if possible, I do not want to make deliberate commitment to that, but I may at some point, if possible, take maybe 2 questions from the audience. And so today, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome the representative of NAFDA, please, with joy and a clap, help me receive John Badikole. So I will need 2 more microphones here. And again, we have, and this one interests me a lot because she is a fellow woman. Don't look at me like that. She's a fellow woman. Yes. And so please make welcome Mrs. Mary Sekumade Ashikot. She works in the standardization department of NAFDA Lagos office. Welcome, gentlemen and ladies. Two microphones, please. Can I have?
Permit me to stand on all the existing protocols. The founder is Apostle Florish Africal. Thank you for giving us this platform to actually collaborate with your organization, the Florish Africa Grant Award and the 9th annual conference. Thank you. My name is Shekumade Miri. I'm working at the Standard Organization of Nigeria, Lagos State Office 1, and also a unit head at the Textile Department and also Standardization Department. Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I also want to stand on the already very robust established protocol. Good afternoon, Madam Apostle. I'm here to represent my Director General in the person of Professor Ade Christiana Mojisola. And I want to believe that whatever you need to know as it concerns NAFDA regulatory processes will be discussed here today. It's just unfortunate that the time is brief, but whatever we can say, I'm sure so many doubts will be cleared here today. My name is John Emmanuel Bamikole. I am the Chief Regulatory Officer in the Lagos State Office of NAFDA. Thank you.
The gentleman and the lady are in the offices that can duly attend to the submissions or the questions here today. So we are in the right hands. All right, each question will go to both of you. So she takes, or you take, and then the other person responds to the same question. So for NAFDA, what products or services fall under your agency's regulation?
Okay, I think this is okay. Let me begin by saying that we have what we refer to as regulated products that include drugs, food, chemicals, cosmetics, medical devices, water. And for the purpose of this meeting, I know drug is going to be excluded, but basically food, cosmetics, and water is, where we majorly find people in this sector coming from. And that is the reason why the Lagos State Office of NAFDAC was created. So drug is not handled by our office because the micro and medium sector is not allowed to handle products like drug. But we handle food, water, cosmetics, and bread. Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so
thank you. So on behalf of the Director General of Standard Organization of Nigeria, in person of Dr. Chukwunonso Okeke,
I can be in the market for a while before I can be in the market for a while before I come to this
regulatory agent to ensure that their products conform to the specific standard. For SON, our basic core function is to ensure that small businesses, nano, micro businesses conform to the required standard in terms of carrying out certification processes. We call it markup certification process, and we have a new product which was born in the year 2024, which is the product identification scheme. The product identification scheme is specifically for businesses that are already in the market and they have not come to SON and they have no recognition of products that do not have the maybe international standard that we need to internally, local products that we need to internally develop ourselves. We SON ensure that we push these products to ensure that they have the relevant standard. And using the PI will specifically give those products a unique identification number, and with a period of time, 3 years, they ensure that they are able to migrate the markup certification scheme. The markup certification scheme is a mandatory conformity assessment program that ensures that local products, all local products in Nigeria conform to the minimum requirement of the standard in Nigeria that is applicable to such products.
Okay, I've probably come back to that. Let me look to that. Yes, please.
Okay, I am sure you don't want to start by, not any business by violating the regulations or the law that, is backs up that production. Whoever wants to go into production, you need to know what and what is required. And in doing that, you will get to realize that you are not expected to take your product to the market or even go into production and then sell without that number. Now, on that note, it is important that before you go into any food production, under the nano, the micro, and the small scale, like I mentioned before, you approach NAFDAC and ask what are the requirements to get a NAFDAC number. It is important you get a NAFDAC number before you start producing. Now, the yearning of Nigerians became so loud sometimes, and people started, were coming up to say, okay, like our keynote speaker today used China as, as a case study. And then people were coming to the office and saying, if you want economy to grow, then you must behave like China. That if you go to China, virtually everywhere is a production place you can use from your kitchen. And then they came up to the DG and said, DG, what do you do? We have a class of people that are constant, very small and micro. And these people they have products, they have very beautiful ideas. Novel products are coming up every day, and then we want to register, and the processes are so peculiar. And then on that note, they say, okay, what do we do? Let's look at it very carefully. And then that was almost the same time that the executive order, was put forward by the then, president. And then we had the MDAs were mandated to, embrace transparency in the business sector. So now that immediately came up with an idea, so okay, what do? We can register products from your kitchen. You don't need to go and get, a factory, so to say, before you register your product. So on that, since then, we have registered quite a number of products, and we have people who are also, members of Florish Africa and have registered products with NAFDAC. You will agree with me that you can produce from your kitchen, and it will be assigned a NAFDAC number.
This is interesting in this case. But my next question will go to both of you. What are the inter-agency collaboration relationships between SOA and NAFDAC? When it comes to registering a product, if I go to SOA and get something done, register, licensed, approved, I come to NAFDAC and I do the same thing. On one hand, I heard you must do this before you go to the market. On the other hand, it's been a bit relaxed and that can be processed and that can approve it. So it seems for me a bit of a conflict. But what there exists inter-agency relationship between these two organizations, and that will help us to understand how our people, entrepreneurs in Nigeria, interact with some of these challenges. Yes.
So, Standard Organization of Nigeria have actually collaborated with NAFDAC in so many areas. Let's look at food, which a lot of people are like, why will some come to my company and NAFDAC also come for inspection? I already have NAFDAC, why are some officials here? So basically, I'm going to talk as a standard officer that is working with Standard Organization of Nigeria. So as part of the collaboration with NAFDAC, let's take for example, maybe you are into water or food productions. What SON does is to ensure that your water or your chinchin or your bread, do you actually produce that product in line with the Nigerian industrial standard for water, for bread and chinchin? NAFDAC number. So it's a requirement from the product information that once SON visits your water or your food or your bread company, we ensure that, there's a NAFDAC number, that means your company is registered. But for SON, what we basically do is to ensure that your water, your bread, your chinchin, does it conform to the required Nigerian industrial standard. That is where we are looking at area of quality assurance and conformity assessment. We ensure that your production process, from your raw material down to your finished product, conform to the basic requirements that has been developed by stakeholders in that Nigerian industrial standard. So our kind of activity cuts across. That's why I said all sectors, industrial sectors, from food, textile, mechanical, building, electrical, maybe SON carry out inspection at those various stages. So it cuts across all industry or industrial sectors in Nigeria.
You registering and all of that without seeing, or you must see that NAFDAC they have done their job before you say yes, we can proceed with yours. Or whoever comes first works.
In line with the Nigerian industrial standard, like I said, because that is one of our working tools. And the requirement as part of the product information is that you must have NAFDAC registration specifically for food products.
Thank you.
Before you can come for a certification, that is either the marker certification or the product identification scheme.
Thank you. NAFDAC first. So NAFDAC the ball rests in the court.
Okay, I think I'm going to be answering this question by putting myself in the shoes of the regulated. Yes, so many times we have had cries, people coming to the office and saying the government is over-regulating, is pressing on us, is affecting us, and let's be sincere. Sometimes we look at these issues and say, look, these are not helping our the micro and the small scale sector. Yes, the two agencies, it's literally the two of us, and we met in several programs like this. And I think the last December, they were still invited for a program with SON too, on this meeting. The two of them are both government, agencies, and everybody have a function and is backed up by the law. Now, if you go to the NAFDAC website, you will see the laws that establish NAFDAC. Now, if you go to SON, you will also see the laws that establish SON. They are not overlapping. Sometimes we assume they are overlapping. They are actually not overlapping if you look at them critically. But, you see, by the time we bring it to this picture, and then we call ourselves to bring ourselves to reality, what happens in Nigeria, sometimes we are forced to begin to feel that there is overregulation. If the poor was split, let me use that word. If those in the lower rung of the ladder must be able to forge ahead in whatever they do. Now, we have requirement before we issue that number. We don't just carry out that number and then do it. Or we come to the office and we say, oh, your face is looking very good. I think it shows that whatever you are producing is going to be of quality, and then we give you that number. No! Before we do that, we sit you down, you have your documents. These are the list of documents you need to have. And then after that, even despite the fact that you mentioned the use of kitchen, that you can use your kitchen to produce, and then it is registered, officers will be drafted to come to that kitchen. Who will look at the kitchen? Now, the condition the DG gave that time, I said that because I was in that meeting, she said, when you are cooking for the entire family, please don't produce. When you are producing, please don't cook your regular food. So when you come to your place, oh, this is a kitchen skill. Okay, your source of water, where do you get the water you use for? Okay, how do you, what equipment do you have? By the time we realize that, okay, from what you are doing, there is no source of contamination. That product cannot be contaminated in that kitchen. We collect sample and take it to the lab. Remember, inspection has been done, and then we have, come up with the fact that the place you are using, the kitchen you are using is, hygienic enough. Then that sample you have just produced in that kitchen, you take it to our lab, and it will undergo some, quality checks. Now, when the lab report comes out satisfactory, on this two note, you have inspection that is satisfactory. Now, lab report is also satisfactory. Now that one.
Thank you. So let me start with NAFDAC because this way it feels. Maybe I should start with that. All right. In what way, how does that really, the sense of economic business, sense of it, support my product, my business to export on the continent or globally? How?
Yes, I think I will make reference to the keynote speaker, Dr. Abiola. You talked about things that had so much chemicals, and while you were talking, I'm aware of that thing. Now, before products are exported, that product should be registered. But if you see people who are promoting export, they will tell you it is only when you have them in smaller packs that it should be registered with NAFDAC. That if you have it in jumbo packs, you can actually take them outside. But when it gets there, they check them and discover that the chemical residue is there much. So there is no way a product should be exported without first of all checking, taking it to the lab and examining that product for all the basic parameters that should be checked in a piece before that piece is being taken out. I'm sure if you check that piece very well, you realize that these are people who are promoting export, who just come into export, and then you take your product outside, and then when they get to the borders, they check these items and realize that they are not even fit for human consumption. For the ones that have gone through NAFDAC laboratory checks, we don't have that issue.
So which means if I get my product registered with NAFDAC, it meets international standard for export.
Perfect. Now, in addition to that, we have an export department in NAFDAC. And the requirement is that that product must have a NAFDAC number. And of course, you know, before a product has a NAFDAC number, it must have gone to the lab. Now, it is that export department that we now issue you the export certificate for that requirement. You know, there's also other agencies too that also come into it, and the export certificate is issued to you if that product taken outside the country.
Okay, thank you. So, I guess existing support in the agency that facilitate, enable entrepreneurs, small business owners to be ready enough, having gone through your processes, be ready enough and qualified enough to export. And yet, such support.
Yes, we are a member of the WTO, World Trade Organization, and also ensure that the ETLS as the ECOWAS Trade Liberation Scheme, which also promotes trade within the ECOWAS region, which Nigeria is also a member. We are working with SMEs, manufacturers who want to export their product through the Sun Export Desk, which is in SON. So if your product has actually gone through the product certification, which is the NAFDAC certification, which is also a requirement for you to export, that your product has been confirmed to actually comply with the relevant country of export standard and also our local standard, free for export. So we actually encourage small businesses to actually export their product, but they must conform with the requirements or specifications of the country of export.
Okay. My next question will be better for you. I'm going to give context. We've had a good number of the entrepreneurs we interacted with. They've said, let's say they have got a product in 3 variants. You have big, medium, and small. And each time when we NAFDAC, when we continue our SON, they say give us 10 units of the big, give us 10 units of the medium, give us another 10 units of the small. Overall, you have 30. And that for them is also money. Money they are not getting back their original input, and they are also losing profit. So that question also applies to you, sir. My question there is, do you have specific number of units per product or by variants that entrepreneurs or business owners must bring to NAFDAC or SON for registration? So when you come to check, you have said you must give us 1, 2 of this or 10 of this. In some cases, one said 15 units per variant. She got it in 3 different variants. I got 15 times 3. That's a number. She's losing money, she's a small producer, she's losing money, she's losing profit, and input profit. All right.
Thank you. So as part of the Director General Standard Organization of Nigeria, the President of Dr. Ikebe Chukwunoso Okeke's agenda to ensure that we encourage the SMEs, we actually have developed a sampling size in order to ensure that this oversampling do not affect those of the small businesses. So that has been effected, and very soon that will be implemented. But the essence of sampling products is to carry out laboratory test analysis to ensure that that particular product actually conforms to that relevant Nigerian industrial standard that is specific to such products.
So at the moment, there are a specific number of units. You are not saying 2?
I will not be able to give you that specifically, but we have a sampling size template that will be incorporated during the course of our inspection.
Okay, there is an ongoing strategy.
We already have that.
It's not complicated.
We already have that. Those are part of our working tools. But I will get back, as part of the feedback, to ensure that it's made public too.
All right, M&A, please take note. We will reach out to SON to make sure we have that detail because it helps us to prepare our entrepreneurs. Yes, please.
Yes, this question is very sensitive because we have had several complaints sample size. Now, we have a document that speaks directly to this process on the global space. if you go to NAFDAC website and check on NAFDAC sampling guide, you will see there. And then you see the required sample size per product. Now let me also say this very, very, very important. Now, just like she said, the essence of sampling is for laboratory evaluation. Now, if you have 3 parameters to be analyzed on a particular sample, it means that that sample is going to go to 3 different laboratories, 3 different labs. Now, that sample, you can't expect the client to bring just one of the sample. They were doing that before, but they realized that by the time you finish analyzing, you want to key in the information. You don't even have the sample by your side because somebody brought it from another place and then brought it for you to analyze. You don't even have it. So that had to stop. Bring 3 of that sample. One goes to this one, one goes there, and one goes there. But by the time they finish, the label is there. Okay, this is the name of this sample that I just analyzed, and this is the parameters. So that was one of the things that spoke to me, the size of the sample that is being requested. It's always very important to think of this picture. So that is it. And like I said, the document is on the website. You always check it out and see the sample size. For those who are not giving the grant today, look at the sample size before you even go into the production of that product, so that when you get there, you won't begin to complain that. So now it depends on the parameters and the laboratory. We have heavy metal laboratory, we have a micro lab, and these are labs that are not close to each other. So you can go and take a sample from heavy metals and then you need to run to micro. By the time you finish doing it and you come back, that sample is no longer there. So you have results in your hand, but you don't know how to the information to key it, to key it into the system. Just use that. For instance, if you have 3 parameters, then I also want to, when you talk of data, I also want to address something there. Now, there's what we call pack size extension. For instance, somebody is producing 1 liter, maybe honey, for instance, 1 liter honey. You have 500 mils, and then you have maybe 100 mils. And then nobody is going to ask you to read sample for all of them. No. What I tell people, because we all know that the economy is not smiling, what I tell them is, look for the smallest one. When you are applying, key the information of the smallest one into the system. If you key the biggest one to the system, that is the biggest one you're going to bring. So you go to the system on NAPAMS and key in the smallest one, which is the 100 mil. No, NAPAMS will not ask you to bring all the size. The only one that is going to the lab is the 100 mil. It's the same money. If the only one that we analyze is that 100 mil, because that is what you key into the system. You just bring the sample size for that 100 mil. Then when you need to get approval for to sell the other sizes, you will not be asked to bring that. You can quote me anyway.
There is nothing this country wants better than doing well. And policy impacts you more than you know at every level. Whether it's policy for your business, policy for your personal life, policy for how you use vehicles and use the road, policy for fuel consumption, they all impact you in one way or another. Alright, so for SOA, do you have any programs in-house, maybe funded by government or direct agency programs that you implement with organizations like Florish Africa to deepen, sustain, and increase impact of what Florish Africa and similar organizations do? Do you have such programs in-house? And if you do, how can Florish Africa pro bono assess, don't worry, I'm screaming pro bono, assess those kind of supports and support?
Thank you very much. We want to actually appreciate Florish Africa for actually for this, as part of SOA's extension to ensure that this continues. We have the SME Dex, which can actually collaborate with the Florish African organization to ensure that once those grants are given to individuals. They ensure that they guide them in terms of how they prepare for regulatory and for their regulatory and statutory requirements in terms of whichever field of production they want to go to. We also organize programs both internationally. We have international collaborations and also with state and local government, in ensuring that, because the focus point is the small businesses, and we want to ensure that they grow up to the level of multinationals. You might be looking at your business as small, but somehow there's a way SON collaborates with you to ensure that your business has that can compete with the international and global market. In terms of the quality of your product says a lot about you. You might have just one product, but does it have that quality that can stand the international market, that can compete globally? So if you are able to comply and ensure that this product conform to international standards and also maybe the local standards, you are good to go. You can actually export your business and go from there.
Thank you. So we take it that we can work with SON for, let's say, master classes, 2 hours, 3 hours, pro bono master classes for 2,045 entrepreneurs we have supported. We invite you, you can come and collaborate with us to provide capacity building support along these lines. Is that right?
What SON is going to do in terms of this partnership will be the regulatory compliance aspect of the
training will be based on this.
That is what we can actually, if you get an approval from our Director General, I can give that approval now, but you have to seek that collaboration by writing to the Director General Standard Organization of Nigeria, who is also willing to cooperate and also collaborate with small businesses and also organizations that ensure that they are able to promote small businesses in Nigeria.
Thank you. The window is open. We'll make sure the floor, we'll flip the door open as well. Yes, Nada.
One of them is what we refer to as shared facility. Now, I remember I mentioned that you can use your kitchen. Please, kitchen scale is strictly for food. Those who are producing food. Now, if you are into cosmetics, you can't turn your kitchen to factory, especially where chemicals are being handled. So I think one of the things we advise people to come together and do is you can put up a place and then your members will go here to produce. I want to produce. Once you produce, you bring it to another. We call it shared facility. Somebody can have just that facility. Okay, I have a 3-bedroom apartment and I just want to dedicate it for the production of this product. And then your members come in there, then produce, and then they get a different number. It's not the same number you're going to be giving. Once you produce, now that will be coming there periodically to check that the place is meets all the necessary requirements. So we call it shared facility. So you can take advantage of it.
So now that has
yes. No, we don't have. Okay. Somebody can have and then bring in others.
All right. So
your members can come into that place and then use the place.
We are in Abuja last year. I think that was February, March last year. We met with one of our entrepreneurs who has. What can NAFDAC and SON, I'll come to NAFDAC now, what can you do to protect businesses from over-reliance on consultants? Right? And we go to NAFDAC to meet and they say, with this consultant, it's a pipeline facility that ensures people can only get things done when they work with agents. Did I hear any yes? So if you do not work with these agents known to SON or known to NAFDAC, or you're on your own. But what efforts, NAFDAC and SON, what efforts are you making to see that small growing businesses do not suffer in the hands of so-called agents, consultants? Whether they do it to the knowledge of NAFDAC, SON or not, what efforts are there? And that will be my last question before I take 2 questions from the audience. Thank you, Mr. Stammer, to invite me.
Okay, I think this is actually a very big problem. I'm sure you must have listened to your people very well. You brought this question up. It's a very big problem. Very big problem. You know, I remember sometime the DG had to sack, you know, some staff, and even the security, you know, company that was guiding, because reports were beginning to come down. When people are coming into NAFDA, right from the security post, they say, what do you want to do? Don't go there. If you go there, you're going to have problems. And they right while you are standing at the security post, they will just make a call and call someone to come and pick you from there. It's a consultant. He will be concerned. So that company had to be sacked just for that singular act. So we don't encourage middlemen. We don't. If I were to come up with my present, if I had what we give the opportunity to present, you will see where it is boldly written there. No middlemen. Now, when we were to launch this online processes, we make sure it is so simple that if you truly want to understand the process, you can easily understand the process. But like we always say that if you want to hide anything from a black man, just keep it inside the book, and then he will not even care to read it. So that is, well, anyway, you may say so, but I want to let you know that is exactly what we are seeing every day. That is exactly what you are seeing. I was online, I think about the day before yesterday or thereabout. There's a company that was issuing a compliance. I have issued that compliance up to 3 times. I had to look for the application number. I copied out the number. I put a call to the company. I said, we have been issuing this same compliance and you kept returning it, unattended to. What could be is it that you don't understand the process? Please come to NAFDA, let's guide you. So what I'm trying to say is that most of them invited to use the use of a consultant because they feel the process is difficult. Honestly, the process is not difficult. For those who truly want to learn it, it's a friendly, platform. Anything you provide there, if you have an issue, when it gets back to NAFDA will tell you do it like this, and then if you are able to do it and send it back, that application will be processed without you coming to NAFDA. The only time you come to NAFDA is when you have to leave your sample, and you may even choose to tell someone to take your sample to NAFDA without you coming to NAFDA. It is what we say.
So if the challenge does can we reach out to you or to your office?
Perfect.
All right, please, M&E, my colleague, please take note to get his contact so that we'll make sure that we can always use that to support our entrepreneurs. Those who are doing this, say aye.
Thank you very much. In line with my Director General Standard Organization of Nigeria, agenda, that's digitalization agenda to ensure that we are able to reach the SMEs. I don't know if you can bring up your phone now so that you can actually do the online registration so that it's not that you go through consultants to do your registration. You can actually do everything from the fingertips using your phone. So we have the mancap.sun.gov.ng/client/register. That's we have. Okay, can you go to Sun website? That's www.sun.gov.ng. Can you go to the website? Okay, you can write it down. You can write it down. So once or you use the markup.sun.gov.ng/clients/register. Those are easy apps for you to actually register your profile, your company's profile, do your registration down to payment, and you can also monitor your certification activity in terms of the markup certification and the product identification scheme. Can I quickly just run down what it entails for you to be markup certified? A lot of companies are always afraid of regulatory agents, but SON has this statutory obligations to ensure that our small businesses can actually grow from where they are. So basically what we do is once you register on our app, we will send our team to carry out inspection. The inspection goes through from your raw material, where do you purchase these raw materials from, down to your in-process. We look at your in-process. Do you have laboratory? How many people have, how many SMEs have laboratory? Carry out, okay, how many of you can carry out laboratory tests of your product? Let's say you are producing bread. How many of you test your bread? So it's expected that you carry out an in-house test. Even an organoleptic test, the color of that bread are part of tests. Do you write them down?
We produce African snacks. We know people are looking for healthy snacks for this, so we are out there to solve that problem, making sure you get good and healthy African snacks, which is called the Faith Bite Nuts. About 3 years ago, I didn't have that registration. When I started, I was giving a grant there and I used everything for NAFDAC registration. But somebody saw me recently and said, "You are supposed to go back 2 years after to pay again." I never knew. So right now, I think I'm owning NAFDAC. So why do I really have to go back to pay again? I really need to know why.
Trainings send messages to all our clients, quite a number of them don't know. And that is where the knowledge gap is coming from. Before you start registration, you should have been told that your number is for 2 years. It's valid for 2 years. For all years. Yes. We have the 5 years registration, we have the 2 years registration. We have 5 years registration, we have 2 years registration. For the MSMEs, it's for two years.
Hello, please.
You may have problem with that. Well, you will not be wrong. But we also have reasons why it is for 2 years. So it is for 2 years. And then the NAPAM system is structured in such a way that 3 months to the expiration will be prompted. Now, the problem we keep having is that consultants will generate email for them. The message is going to a consultant. Now, the business owner doesn't even have access to that email.
Consultant.
So, 3 months to expiration, you'll be prompted, reminding you that in 3 months' time, this product will expire. Commence the renewal process. You have that on NAPAM. You have that.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've done justice to some of the questions here. And I would like to thank Mr. John and Mrs. Mary for sparing us this time, despite your busy schedule, to be here. One thing I would like you to take home from this is that Florish Africa will continue to interface with NAFDAC and SOA, and we will share information details of their contact with you on the platform so that you can continue to engage them should there be any challenge. The websites are open, they have mentioned that. Please go there and learn as much as you can. Please, with joy, let's celebrate this gentleman and lady for being the people of the Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
A round of applause for them. Thank you very much.
Happy coffee. It's happy coffee here. Happy coffee got our 3 million naira in 2024 or 3. And she's one of the amazing things. I think national airport you see her staff. Happy coffee. Alright, she made our grant 2024. Look around you, you've got beautiful prints on your scarves, beautiful prints on the walls, beautiful prints with the hand carrier bags, with the jotters. Whatsoever you see here that is as beautiful can only be done by digital. I don't like the clapping. Digital Reality Print Limited. We have a representative here. Whatever you see and making this big with 2 million and 3 million. You took care. It is quite together. Alright, so we're going to have a music interview, a 10-minute gap, just that you go and see what they are doing. If you want to buy at the end of the event, you can buy, or you can quickly do a POS. 10 minutes, we come back and we move from there. However, don't forget, we have 3 million grants to give to 100 persons. With that, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Thank you. God bless you. In 2024, we had 515 women, and we had 445 business plans submitted. This year, which is, in our opinion, related, we had 506 women participating in the program. 506 women who participated in the program. 409 business plans were submitted. If you think Florish Africa and only think about 3 million naira or 2 million naira for somebody like Florish Jaga Beauty, you are wrong. You've missed the mark. You significantly shot yourself in the leg. Because the value of money is not in its quantity, is in its use and in its significant growth. If money is what makes you or what inspires you, you have completely insulted money. Because money isn't about the quantity of it or the amount of it. In fact, when we think about money, we're not thinking about wealth. We're thinking about riches in the sense of it. Not every money gives you wealth. But I can tell you today, without regrets, today or later, that every wealth gives you money. And when you look at what we've done, we didn't think about starting this process so that you go through it and collect money, you walk away. No, we will hold you, we will hold your hand, and we will continue to chase after you responsibly to make sure you grow, to make sure you do better, and to make sure you empower other women. For example, if you are in this hall, and the only reason you got into the Florish Africa program was because somebody told you about it, can you put your hand up? Somebody told you about Florish Africa and you applied, and today you are here. Don't be shy. I'm not going to take one from you. Because many of you. You saw our advert online, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, put your hand up. If somebody sent you a WhatsApp information and you applied. Thank you. We don't care where you come from. We don't care about the semantics and the language of the political spectrum. We don't care if the politicians or those in various parties are thinking religion or they are thinking culture and tribe. We don't care. But we care that we are Nigerian. We care that you are Nigerian, so Nigerian enough that by the time you get into our program, we are seeing you as a person and then we see you as a Nigerian. We've treated you with respect, we've treated you with value, we've treated you with support, we've treated you with transparency, we've treated this program with accountability. and we have no regrets that we've done that. Today, ladies and gentlemen, the only reason this is possible is because a woman of substance, a mother, a grandmother, a person with a vision looked out her window because I was there, not her family, not suspect me. And then she said, if you do not win, please make sure you get good photograph of me and my team members. Frankly, we need each other. In my culture and tradition, when an animal needs to scratch his back, it goes to a tree. But when a human being needs to scratch his back, it looks for another human being. Together, we can do this. If your heart is pumping, and it's pumping like pump, if truly you can't enjoy it no more, well, like the old quiet days, where they bring in question paper to the examination hall, and they show you the question paper. I say, see it, we never open our own, we know those days. We will take care of that soon. We have a team of nurses and a doctor. But it's not something to laugh about. It's not something to laugh about. Somebody asked me a question and I would like to share that. Why do we want to give, why should we sometimes give 3 million naira to a business that is worth more than 5 million naira? I said to that person, if that entrepreneur pulls away 3 million naira from her business to buy a particular machine and equipment, what do you think happens to that business eventually? It needs years to get that to 5 million before it starts growing. But when Florish Africa comes with that business in a grand way, you move from 3 million to 8 million plus equipment, and your business begins to see light and begins to try. We want you to try. We want you to succeed. So if you are, please, we love you. We need you alive in case Mama decides to dash you 3 million. So please, we need you alive. You can go out there and talk to them. They have got everything they need to help you. You knew, you understood, you were informed, and you read it. You also heard it. From the get-go, that we will take 500 participants, and by the end of the training, only 100 will make the grant. I am sure you are not surprised. That said, before I proceed, we got a beautiful cake that was brought to us by Florish Africal Management ISL. This is their contribution to this event for you. Please let's celebrate ISL. It's Professor in the house. It's not here. Okay. While I look for time to wait for him, please can somebody look for Prof for me? I would like to invite my colleagues. Without these women, of course I am blessed amongst women. It's not my fault, it's not me. Without these wonderful women in the Florish Africa team, it is not possible that we can do all the things we do. Some of you will call me by 1 a.m. and say, I am sorry for calling you on this job and God. And I'm wondering why it is ungodly and you know it's ungodly and you are still calling. I'm apologizing in advance and you still call. Okay. They have made this job easy for all of us. And they are amazing people. Many times you do not hear their voices, they are always there. They are my kitchen cabinet. And before I call them, I have wonderful team members who have left everything they have to do to be here to support us. I have Hope, I have Janet, I have Nicola, I have Mr. Mike, I have Victoria, I have Manuel, I have Beauty, I have the neighbor president, Mrs. Ajayi, and this lighting and everything working here. I have an amazing team of technicians who have put it together. Musicians, I have Fresh Fire. I have Emmanuel, a communicator, think and IT expert. I have Mr. Elliot, an amazing person in our IT department. I have Mr. Freddy, who I know is coming here. I have Gideon, who makes this sound possible. Without him, I cannot stop. You will not hear whispers. And there are people who are not here not because they don't care, but because they have done things they need to do so that we can get this done. And if I do not mention your name, it's not a neglect. Please. It is because my brain will not remember all at once. But I thank you. Please let's celebrate them. Mrs. Uche, thank you so much for everything. Thank you. Right. Again, if your heart is pumping, you can pump it. Just do it. Thank you. Please, to join me here, I will call my colleagues, Mrs. Fumilola Morakilo. She's our I also like to call my colleague, Mrs. Feikemi Omri. And all those posts you see across social media disturbing your sleep, please somebody is responsible for that. That is Mrs. Tolu. Okay, sorry, I call her Mrs. She's a miss. But I often think she's not there. She's available. Consult me for mine. What will happen is we'll call this 25 per time, and you come here, line up. The founder will be with you for a photo shoot, and then you go back. If you have come with a Ghana must go, we cannot give you cash. The Ghana must go. It's not going without anything beside it. And if you are going to give us the account number here and now, then it's not going to happen. We will reach out to you. We will do other levels of verifications. If this year I pay 1 year rent, 2,999,000. Next year, who will give you another Florish Africa grant for another 2-point-something million? But if you must, we would like to know. And until you get our approval, you cannot do that. You will sign a contract before you get the money. That contract stipulates these things, and we are happy to get the money back from you if you have already got it. You cannot use the Florish Africa grant to employ staff members. If you pay their salary this month and next month, how do you now pay the months after? Or you wait for another grant? No. If you also must, which is a difficult must, you must reach out to us and we must so authorize you. If not, you cannot do that. The lady who had the highest score last year in our program, she's doing great things. I don't want to call her. But tell me that. And we would like to let you know that it's not because she just got money. It's not because she brought the training into the program. And at the end of this, please do not go. Just wait. We are going to do an oath into the service of the Florish Africa Fellowship. Every one of you becomes a fellow of the Florish Africa community. All of you. As soon as we are in the program, we take a minute or two to do that. And we will proceed from there. Ladies and gentlemen, the first person here, the last 3 names, the last 2 names had equal score. In 2024, the lowest grant pitch score to actually get the grant was 55% over 100. In 2024, the lowest that made the grant was 55. This year, for 2025, or for the lowest is, you want to take a guess? 65. 66 was the lowest score I've made in grant. I need to give this context so that you know, and I'm almost done. Last year, we looked at your business plan score to actually bring you to making the grant. Business plan score to making the grant. This year, we took into consideration your attending the 12 live sessions. Your attendance, you must sign it. That you attended and forgot, or for whatever reason you did not sign it, is not Florish Africa's problem, it's God. Because we provide you everything and information. We also took into consideration your quiz score. So we aggregated your business plan score, your quiz score, and your attendance score. And some people who did well in the business plan did not so well in the quiz and attendance, and they are knocked off the 200 list. And so the person with the highest score last year was 88%. This year we have what?
93.3.
And 2 persons scored that gave us that score. So we're going to have 2 joint highest score participants. And to start this process, shout if you want, scream if you like, cry if you want. You will still make everything. Oluwa Shem Olumo. Please can ushers help me now, please? Ushers. They will need to hold this number up. No. The next person is Lilia Choma Okoropo. Is she here? Or is she? Great. Ifoluwa Kayode. Dorcas Johnson. Photographers are somebody I would like to be arranged so that please. Oluwanifemi Victoria Akomolafe. Roslyn Adeleke. Is she here? Is she here? If you're online and you can hear us while we announce your names, please let us know and you'll be spotlighted. Let us know and you'll be spotlighted. K.A. Omotoso. Naosa Sani. Oyeyemi Dosewu. Is she coming? Ron, you are walking. Give me a 3 million naira run. 3 million naira run. Adura Jemi Alawiye. Apostle Adebayo. Faith Ajiboye. Favor Chinyere Ikechukwu. Okay. Your clapping is not going to do. I want to get clap. I want to get clap. Halima Ario. Is she here? Yemisi Ayedu.
She
welcome. Join me, Nigerian way, to welcome the two best scores. 93.3333. Please, inform highest score. Okay. Rachel Ekure. Before I call your name, who is the person I called before I call your name? Tell her, you are the person I called. Okay, so you are the best score. However, you have, hold on please. You have scored the paper is in it. Tell her you scored 191.67. The person before that person scored 90. 83 was Uche Okoro, and followed by Lydia, who scored 88. Uche Okoro, Lydia who scored 85. Before that was 83. And the last best scored 3. The best scored 3 we have number 3 there we have Taylor Taylor 91. The last two, Taiwo Aile. Let me ring again, but that's not even going to raise it up. I will start from the top person that I wrote.
Don't cover your face with him now.
First two. 91.67. Only. Some of you don't see. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me, please? Some of you see and hear 1.3 billion naira. That is the grant money. That is not money for logistics, administration, salary, panel reviews, training, money for as little as, if you like, transportation, money for this beautiful event. I can't mention amount, but this is expensive. And for the last time, I'll be calling the founder. And I don't want to just ask her to come so that she can pose and give us free dance that you're not paying for. But I want you to understand that when she's coming, she has not just given 1.3 billion naira. She's giving way more than that. And she's continued to do that. Please, whether you made the grant or not, I can only hold her in awe. Let's make welcome Apostle Dr. Raise it. and we will ask you to give us videos and pictures of activities you have taken in the name of your businesses that empower other women. We have seen some video clips in your Grand Prix videos, we've seen some in your entry videos, we've seen some commitments in your business plans. But we will drag from you, Nigerian language, we will ask of you to share with us videos and pictures of activities you have taken in the name of your businesses that go on hereafter to empower other women. We need you to share those with us. On the Florish Africa platform, you can plug in the videos, we will see it. However, reach out to us, send it to grants, we will receive it, we will download it, or you share a link to us at grants@florishafrica.com. If you share that with us, we will share a link of the video, whether it's on YouTube, wherever we will get it, and we want to tell your story on your behalf. Your story is our story. Hello ladies, please, listen carefully. This is way too important for us. Listen very carefully. We are not asking you to declare your dividends, your business dividends to us. You do not pay tax to us. You do not give us commissions and remittances. But what we demand of you that we consider dividend is and are your impact videos, your impact stories. If you share this impact, we have some of them, but we want it organic. We want it much more. Don't care about how the women you are empowering out there look like, how they are dressed, what they speak, if they speak or not. Give it to us as raw as they come. We love them organic. We love them through raw and genuine. And I tell you, when Florish Africa tells your story, it can never be better told anywhere. God bless you, and thank you very much.
All protocols duly observed. We would like to take the oath of membership to the Florish Africa Fellowship. So if you don't mind, I would like us to rise up. So whether you want the grant or not, you are a member of the fellowship. So please let's all rise. Our right hand on our chest as we take the oath. So I'll read and then you repeat after me. So where you're supposed to put your name, please put your name there. Is that okay? Alright. Are we ready? Alright, so pledge my loyalty.
Pledge my loyalty
To the Florish Africa Fellowship.
to the Florish Africa Fellowship.
I promise to uphold
I promise to uphold
my noble ideas
my noble ideas
and dedicate myself
and dedicate myself
to further personal and intellectual development.
to further personal and intellectual development.
I promise to commit myself
I promise to commit myself
to the work of serving humanity,
to the work of serving humanity,
advocating for women empowerment
advocating for women empowerment
and equality,
and equality,
as well as obeying the laws of the fellowship.
as well as obeying the laws of the fellowship.
Almighty God, thank you. If not for you, what do you do for me? Now you do what to think about, and God is his name. On the screen is another winner. There is Fumi, Vicky, Sube,
because if you have the knowledge of what you need to do and you can't move forward with it, it's too much of a struggle. It's extremely hard to get started. And we thought that this was the way to go. And God has been helping us. You saw how these women were crying. Some cried throughout. Yes, they know that they're all winners. Whether they got the money or they didn't get the money, the knowledge is something to get started with. But to move forward is a bit more difficult without them. So that was definitely why it made so much of a difference for them to be able to get that. But we couldn't give everybody the money. So they had to pitch for it. 200 people out of 500 was to pitch for it every year. And 100 of them will get the money. And that does really, it makes a huge difference. And we thought we got the opportunity to be able to do that. We love to do a lot more. And for the last 1 year, which is coming up now, we believe that it's something that we need to wrap up at the end of it. And wait on the Lord for the next step forward. It does say Florish Africa. But we had to start with Nigeria because charity begins at home. I won't be surprised if God says, okay, spread it to West Africa, and then to this region in Africa, and that's it. So we cover Africa. And He will help us. He used our hand from the beginning. And He will continue to help us to get you with the, shall I say, what women need in Africa. And I believe that we're getting there. Should I say slowly or surely? We'll get there.
It's not often that you see people make promises about things like this, to give out grants and follow through with a credible system, an open system that everyone can see. And I think that's what really stands out for me, that none of these people are known to Apostle Florish Africal. They're people who just applied, and they're not relatives of us. In fact, some of our relatives are us, and she told them to go through the system. And so this is a credible initiative, and you can see the real change in the lives of people. The people who had participated the year before were here. So real life changes, and I think that's what really matters, that people's lives have changed forever. And I'm glad I'm part of this. I'm here today to participate in this. Thank you. Thank you, Mom.
Team members who have helped us over the years to bring our programs to these beautiful conclusions each year. And today what we have done is the grant award ceremony, which is if you like, an icing on the cake starting from the month of September in 2025. We've trained 506 women, and of that number we've given grants to 100 of them who are the best top scorers. What we have successfully achieved is that for this cohort, 409 women submitted their businesses were reviewed, their businesses were scored, and they have support system that enables their businesses. They have mentorship, they had trainings, and we are always here. Today, whether they are in this hall participating or they are not, the truth remains that we have an additional 506 female entrepreneurs who are part of the Florish Africa community going forward. So in Florish Africa, we support small growing businesses. Your business must be based in Lagos or Abuja or Port Harcourt, and you must be at least 18 years old and must not be more than 50 years old to apply. It's a process to come here. Each year we get at least 6,000 applications, and we screen them down to 500 of them who eventually will have to be onboarded onto the program and to participate. Thank you so very much, and we appreciate. So look out for February February or March, when we will announce the next cohort. That will be cohort 5. Application will go live. It will be open. Look out for it online, on newspapers, or social media handles. You will see, apply. The next grant winner might just be you. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Omawumi Oluwaseyi Akinola, the founder of Abyss Cleaning Services. I'm into manufacturing of cleaning products, and I'm also a professional cleaner. This program has been an amazing stage for me. I can't even believe I won. Coming here today, I came with faith that I know God will do it. And I know that during the pitch deck stage, I almost gave up on the process, but God guided me out through the process, and today I'm one of the winners. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Debo Alao, and I am the founder of Joya. Joya is an African beauty brand that makes cosmetics targeted to acne and hyperpigmentation for the African skin. Before the grant ceremony, I already prepared my mind that it's a 50-50, but while pitching my my grant video, I was much more excited that I was given an opportunity to really explain, my vision and why my brand Joya exists. So during the pitch, during the grant announcement, I was the last 25 that was being called. At that time, I didn't expect anything, but immediately my name was called. I don't know, I was shocked, first of all, and then I was excited because in my mind, he just told me that yes, my vision is viable, and my impact is also, something that can be reckoned with. So I'm very much excited. I can't wait to tell my family members because I know that they were all rooting for me before I left the house this morning. So thank you so much, Florish Africa. Thank you, Apostle Alakija. Thank you so much.
I'm the founder and creative director of BAL Creatives. I feel so happy and grateful to Florish Africa for this great opportunity, and I hope to be able to empower more lives and to be able to scale my business through the grant and all the knowledge gained. Thank you.
So how do you feel about the whole about Florish Africa, about Mama, the founder? What do you say to her?
I want to say thank you to Apostle Florish Africa for putting this together. We are grateful. She has impacted more lives, more than she will ever understand, because beyond the grant, I'm so happy to be part of it, be part of the fellowship right now, and to be able to learn from world-class people on business insights. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Oluwaseyi Olumo, and I'm the creative director of Daniel Apparel. So Daniel Apparel is a fashion brand that makes outfits, maternity wears for pregnant and nursing moms. So I'm so grateful for being a part of this grant, of this program, Florish Africa Cohort 4. It has really helped me. It has grown my business. It has given me understanding of my business. I had to write my own business plan by myself, which was an eye-opening to what the business is about, and I'm so very grateful. I want to say a big thank you to Mrs. Apostle Florish Africa. As in, thank you so much, ma. God bless you. I want to thank the whole Florish Africa team for their support. They were so helpful. They were accommodating. They were helpful. They helped us throughout every step of the program, and this I'm forever grateful for. Thank you so much. I am empowered, and I'll go out and empower other women. Thank you, ma.
Hi, my name is Taiwo Aile. I'm the creative lead at Yomi Pale Edways. We made beautiful Edways at Yomi Pale. I want to thank Florish Africa for this platform. Like what Florish Africa has done for me is actually more than money. They built in me some possibility. Like there's nothing I cannot achieve. I put my mind to. I want to thank them. And with this 3 million, I'm going to get necessary equipment that I've said in my pitch grant. I'm going to get necessary equipment that will help me expand my business, and I am certain with God's aid that with this grant I will be able to take my business to the next level. Thank you, Florish Africa. Thank you to our founder. God bless you.
Hello, My name is Aisha Takuraji, and I'm the founder of the Kids Healthy Treats. I produce healthy drinks and snacks to help people cut out excess sugar consumption. And this grant is going to be very instrumental in expanding the business and helping us scale this business to improve our profit and also help us reach more people. I'm so grateful to Apostle Florish Africal for this opportunity. It is one in a lifetime, and it's really going to be instrumental to the growth of my business. Thank you so much, ma, and thank you so much, Florish Africal.
My name is Dr. Luani Femi Victoria Komolafe, and I am one of the winners of the Florish Africa Award for grants. I'm really excited to be part of this program. It's been life-changing from the MBA program to the pitch deck and all of that. We're trained and we're taught a lot of things that will help scale our business. I really appreciate the founder, Apostle Mrs. Florish Africal, for this opportunity that they are giving to us women to thrive and to scale our business. I really appreciate it, and I do not take it for granted. I pray that very soon we'll be hearing greater news from us in Jesus. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.